Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Dish with Devani Live. Welcome to this live weekly show where I dish out juicy business, marketing, and mindset tips for women entrepreneurs and cool men too. And if you are not familiar with who I am, my name is Devani Freeman and I run a social media marketing agency, and I also coach and mentor amazing, heart-centered, beautiful soul women entrepreneurs and helping them in their journey to birth their amazing businesses and get them out into the hands to help improve people's lives. And I talk about things of social media and Facebook ads and funnels and mindset tips and all those kind of things. And so today I want to talk about building your audience online. And if you are in that stage where you are working right now, how do I get in front of more people? How do I build my audience? I want you to type in yes in the comment box so I know that you hear me, I know that you're with me, and we're moving and grooving. So I will wait for your comments to come through as there's always a slight delay, and I'll jump right in. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to talk about where I started, which, gosh, when I think about it, it's, 6 years now from when I started this journey, and I started to build my brand and my business online. So when I started about 6 years ago, I started with building my audience on Facebook. And I started building my audience using my personal profile on Facebook, okay? You have to think this is way back in the day. Everybody took the leap from MySpace to Facebook, right? And business pages were just starting to get traction, but I was using it strategically to start with my personal profile. And the reason why I did that is because I didn't know anything about Facebook ads at the time. A lot of people didn't know a lot about Facebook ads, as that was just getting the ball rolling. And I knew that with using a personal profile, I could actively and strategically reach out to the right people that I wanted in my network and my tribe. So I didn't just reach out to people that I thought could be potential clients, but I reached out to people that were movers and shakers in my industry. I reached out to people that I had met locally at networking events. I reached out to people that I saw had mutual friends and were like-minded in the same and similar business space that I was in. And I did this every single day. I would friend request anywhere from 4 to 8 people. Because if you did more, or if you do more than that, you have the opportunity to get shut off. And I started to build my network. And at the same time, I was posting consistent, regular content. At the beginning, this content was all wrong. I didn't know really what I was doing, and I was trying to sell my services versus giving value, right? So what was happening is that I was turning people away. Big mistake. Then I met a group of online marketers and entrepreneurs that taught me how to position myself as an expert by giving value, by being helpful, by really sharing things that can help enhance other people's lives around my niche, just sharing my expertise versus trying to sell what it was that I was offering. And can some of you relate? Put in the chat box a 1 if you have seen people out there. I just came across somebody this morning on Instagram, and I was like, I wanted to reach out to this person and they're blatantly just promoting their product or their service in a way that has no heart, right? It's just you got to buy this, get this, you need this, right? And you have to remember on social media, people are on social media to be social, right? So I started to implement this way of marketing and connecting. I started posting things that were inspiring. I started posting things that were motivational. I started to share what was going on with me behind my business, behind the scenes, and I started to actually be more authentic in what I was posting. And that's when I started to get traction in my business. So I was consistently posting. I was using my Facebook personal profile, and I was consistently posting content that was keeping me top of mind for all of these new people that were in my network. And it was a brilliant process. So that is how I started in the very first way of building my audience. Now, with what I know now, would I have done the same thing? Yes and no. Here's what I'm going to fill you in on, is that, what do I want to say here? I just lost my train of thought. Is that I was building my network and I was building my connections on a profile of space that I didn't own. So you might know where I'm going to go with this, is that Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all of those channels you don't own. So at any time, they could get taken away, they could get shut down, the algorithm could change, which happens all the time on Facebook and Instagram, right? I wasn't building my email list. And I was struggling really bad for the first year in my business. And why? Was because I was just focused on building my social media channels versus focusing on building my list by leveraging the social media channels in a strategic way, but always driving traffic to my email list. So after I had this light bulb moment go off, after I hired a coach and started working with a mentor that knew what she was doing, I started getting massive traction in my business. Does it happen overnight? No, it doesn't. So when it comes to building your audience, and I get this question all the time, Devani, what is the best way to build my audience? You want to ask yourself, well, what is your long-term goal for your business? If your long-term goal is to serve clients and have a wait list of clients and not be in that feast and famine sort of stage, you really want to focus your efforts on building your email list. Hands down, I can send out an email at any time and make money. It's so powerful. It gives you control over what you want to do with your business and where you want it to go. So how I built my email list, which building your email list translates into building your audience, because what am I doing now? I am emailing my list and driving traffic to what I'm doing on social media. And then I'm taking social media and I'm driving traffic to lead magnets to get people on my list. So it's going in a circle, right? So you want to think about, first of all, when it comes to building your audience, who is your ideal audience? What is the pain points? What are the struggles and the challenge of who this perfect person would be? Because everything that you create, the message that you speak to, needs to correlate around addressing the solutions, the pain points, the challenges of this ideal client. Okay? The next thing is to ask yourself, why is this important to you? because there's going to be days and there's going to be weeks and there's going to be months where you just don't want to show up, right? You just don't want to show up. And so you've got to know, why is it so important to you? What is that underlying why? Is that because you want to travel the world? Is it because you want to have financial freedom to, at any time, be able to make a decision and not have to worry about if you have enough money in your bank account? Is it because you want to start a family? Is it because you have family that you want to take care of and be there for? What is that why? Okay? Now we want to think about, what is your strategies that you want to use to build your list and build your audience? And there's so many different strategies, and that's the problem I see a lot with entrepreneurs, is the bright, shiny list building syndrome. You think this is going to work and you jump to that. You think that's going to work and you jump to that. I see all these entrepreneurs that have so many different things going on one time. It really only takes one or two strategies to build your list, to build your audience. So a few strategies that I have used and I have mastered is, number one, online challenges. And I know if you have been following me for a while, you know that I talk a lot about online challenges because I really like them. They're great, they're fun, and they're super engaged. But if you are at the very, very beginning of your business and you're starting from the ground up, sometimes doing something like a challenge can seem like a lot. It's a lot of moving pieces and all that kind of stuff, right? So the first thing that you could start with is actually creating just a juicy lead magnet. So a juicy lead magnet is something that you give away for free in exchange for your email address. And a lot of you following me know what a lead magnet is. And lead magnets that work great are templates, checklists, guidebooks, not a super long guidebook, something that's easy to digest, right? Getting them into your funnel, into your database that way, and then driving them to a free Facebook group. And this is a perfect platform for you to start to build an audience. They come in through your ebook and over to your Facebook group. How do you get people to your ebook? The number one way that I have built my audience and have built up my email list to a great size is through Facebook ads. Facebook ads are so powerful, so powerful. But you got to be clear on who you're serving, who you're going after, and what their challenges are, so your lead magnet answers a problem and a challenge that your ideal client is having. And if you're not sure what that challenge is and you're not sure what that solution should be, you've got to ask them. And you can ask them by simply surveying, reaching out to a few handful of people, reaching out to people that may be ideal clients for you, but they haven't hired you, but you know them and they're in your network with their friends. Hey, would you do me a favor and fill this out? You could also ask people in other people's Facebook groups if their rules allow. There's a lot of free Facebook groups out there that have the weekly promo posts. What are you promoting right now? You could say, I'm not promoting a course yet, but I'm promoting this survey to help me give more insight. And then on your survey, you want to make sure your number one question is a qualifying question to make sure that the people that are answering the survey are your ideal clients. So if you have a product that's serving women who are pregnant, your first question would be, are you currently pregnant, right? Or a question would be, are you someone that is having challenges with self-worth and confidence? If that's your ideal client, then you would ask that qualifying question. If they say no, then their answers are not going to be the answers that you need, and most of your audience is good or bad, right? So that's the first couple things. So you've got a lead magnet created. You're building your audience, say, through Facebook ads. If you don't have a budget for Facebook ads, then it comes to thinking about, what can you do for organic free traffic? And that's where it comes down to picking a social media platform and running that platform deep, focusing on one. What I did in the beginning was I focused on Facebook. I focused on my personal Facebook profile alone. So there's so many different social media platforms, right? So love to hear from you in the comments below. Let me turn that off. What is your favorite social media platform right now? Is it Facebook? Is it Instagram? Are you using Pinterest? Are you using YouTube? What is your favorite social media platform right now? And so with this organic free traffic, you want to pick a platform that lights you up, that you want to do, that you want to spend time on, right? So think about, are you someone that loves to take photos? Are you someone that loves stylish photos and taking short 1-minute videos? Then you are probably going to love Instagram, curating a beautiful channel and posting beautiful photos and finding and curating beautiful photos. If you love video and live video, then you're going to want to be on Facebook, right? Or if you love more polished, pre-recorded, you want to make sure that you are scripting out what you're going to say, you're going to love YouTube. If you like more of short bursts and text type of posts, you're going to love something like Twitter. My personal favorites are Facebook and Instagram, but I also love YouTube because YouTube is powerful. It's the third largest social platform, and people are specifically going to YouTube when they're searching for something that they need. They're going there for educational videos and all that kind of stuff, right? So you really can't go wrong with a platform as long as you know for sure that your target audience is on that platform, right? And also that you are consistently working the platform. So to really get results on social media, you've got to build that know, like, and trust factor. And that doesn't happen overnight. That happens with time. So as soon as you start to feel like, wow, I'm not sure if this social media strategy is working for me, that's actually when it's just starting to work and kick in, especially when you're doing it organically. You're literally posting and being consistent and showing up, and it's a slow growth that's happening with that. And that's the name of the game unless you're paying for Facebook ads, unless you've got a really aggressive strategy where, say on Instagram, you're posting 2 to 3 times a day and you're spending anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes interacting, commenting, engaging, finding other people's channels, searching for hashtags of relevant people and interacting with their channel, then getting together with people that have a similar sized audience and creating a contest where everybody has to like each other's pages and you're giving away something and everybody's sharing it together. So there's different strategies for each and different platform. I have found that I love Facebook ads because it happens so quickly. It's so much easier and I don't have to put in as much time and as attention. But if you're going to do it organically, then definitely taking a look at what lights you up and what are you going to show up on. And then remembering that having that main hub that you own, that main platform that you own, which would be your website, okay? So if you're creating a YouTube video, if you're creating a Facebook Live, having that also repurposed and stemmed on your website, where then on your website, with your video that you're talking about, with your Facebook Live that you're doing, with your YouTube, whatever it is that you're doing, your written blog post, if you love to write blogging, do that. Then what is your call to action? Because again, everything that you're doing for building your audience, the purpose of that, to get them on your email list. So you have multiple touch points and you are making sure that you are ensuring your business, that you're not relying on traffic coming from a source of a platform that you don't own. So putting that freebie in that blog post, putting that freebie in that call to action of that, Facebook Live or whatever that you're doing. I'm definitely going to recommend everyone on here that is interested in building your audience, that's watching this, go through my Build Your Audience Challenge. And I will put that in the comments below, because it hands down in 5 days walks you through A to Z how to start building your audience. And it brings all of these concepts of what I talked about together in 5 days. So it's definitely my freebie and shout out, and also, doing what I teach and preach, right? So I'd love to know, do you have any questions about building your audience? Anything specific to your business that you want me to answer with this? And I just want to check my notes here also. Okay, so just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Now I have a little bit of delay. I'm actually not sure if the comments are fully working here, but I've had such technical issues this week. I've been moving my entire business over to different platforms, and it's been a headache. I have to tell you, it's been a headache. But one thing that I'm really thankful for is the audience that I have on social media, the audience that I have in my email database. And really what it comes down to is picking a platform that you love and coming up with a really great strategic plan for building your email list. And I love, like I said, online challenges. Starting with a lead magnet is really great too. And there are so many other strategies, but really when it comes down to it is what's going to be the strategy that lights you up the most. The second strategy that I use besides online challenges and Facebook ads are also online summits. So online summits is where you interview other people that have a audience of at least 5,000 people or more. And you're all having a conversation around one topic. And that topic is something you come up with that you know your target audience is interested in. Those of you that joined me earlier this year, I ran the Lady Boss Marketing Summit. And so I interviewed 24 different experts all around the topic of marketing. And each one of these experts has to agree to promote to their audience and to their email database. And so it's a great list builder, and that's a great opportunity to grow your email list. However, you have to remember that your email list still does not know you after you've interviewed these other people and you've positioned them as expert in their industry. So I recommend running a challenge, a 5-day series, a sequence, a video challenge, or something that really gets you to get yourself introduced after that online summit, okay? And so again, it goes back to an online challenge, which is one of my favorites. Brandy says, I have started to see people using the Facebook group as a lead magnet and inside the group trying to get people to sign up. In a way that seems backwards to me, however, it does get to, for some reason that cuts off there. So I'm not sure what all that was said at the end. But okay, so you're seeing people get people into the Facebook group as the lead magnet. So, okay, yes, I would agree that that is backwards, especially if you're running Facebook ads and you're paying Facebook and Facebook ads to get people into a Facebook group, and you're going to be spending money on that lead to get people into that group or on that click to get people into that group. I'd much rather get them into my email list and then invite them into my Facebook group. I wouldn't give them into my tangible offer, my freebie, and then invite them to my Facebook group. But I've seen people that are teaching it the opposite way. They're saying just funnel a bunch of people into a Facebook group and then have your offer in there. So you can do it that way. Both of the strategies work, but I do feel that it is a little bit counterintuitive and backwards of getting people in there. But I have it to where I've got my freebie listed in my Facebook group, because some people will find my Facebook group, and if you're not part of that, definitely check out the Heart-Centered Business Lounge. I have it listed in there, so if people do find my Facebook group, which they do when people join all the time, especially if I'm interviewed on other people's summits or podcasts and I'm mentioning my free group, then they come in it through that way. So they do kind of come into it backwards, but typically most people find my group before they have digested one of my freebies, which I want to make sure that the people that are joining my Facebook group are like-minded, that they have opted into my list, that they are someone that is my tribe. And so I'm also able to really make sure that those people are my tribe by having them come in that way versus funneling anyone and everyone just into my Facebook group. And Brady says, I've been doing email lists, Facebook group, but it is a bit slower. It is a bit slower, absolutely. So if you want to bump that up, I definitely recommend doing and implementing Facebook ads. That's going to make a really big difference for you. And also, what are you creating on a regular basis that's original content? What are you doing that's putting yourself out there on a daily and weekly basis? Because that's what is going to build the momentum. So we get all these questions of, how do I build my audience? How do I build my audience? It's, how are you showing up consistently? And how are you showing up every single day, being you, being authentic, giving value? So not showing up in a way of, here's what I'm promoting, but showing up in a way of, this is me. Here's, a mindset tip. Here's a way to inspire. Hey, I'm having some challenges. Are you experiencing this too? Hey, here's what I'm working on behind the scenes. All of that kind of stuff that really gets people to know, to like, and to trust you. So those are my tips for you. Brandy says, thank you, you confirmed. Nicole asks, I am stuck with Instagram stories. Any tips? Great question, Nicole. I love Instagram stories. That's really powerful. So Instagram stories are immediate, that last for 24 hours, and you can have people see your circle at the top of Instagram when they immediately log in. So it's a great way to be able to give people a sneak peek of what's going on behind the scenes. So there's a few different ways you can use stories. What's going on behind the scenes. You could also drive traffic to your Instagram post from your story. So give a sneak peek in your story and say, click on my link above my profile to read the full post. So you're actually leaking what your post is about, because as we know, the algorithm has changed in Instagram. So it's a little bit trickier. I also love to use it to share and tag other people. So if you're at an event, you're with other people, using the stories and tagging them. You can also remember that you can upload photos to your Instagram story as long as it's in your camera roll within the last 24 hours. So you can create custom photos, you can size them so they're vertical long, and you can share tips through your Instagram stories as well. So I've seen so many different variety of ways that you can use stories, from more casual behind the scenes, more sneak peeks of what's going on. So before I jumped on here, I did a quick Instagram story. If I'm working on a project, like last week, I was actually working on a full beginner's Instagram training. I shared what I was doing behind the scenes, because you have to remember, people aren't going to always understand what it is that you do in your business. So letting them in on what it is that you're working on, sharing what are you reading. Sometimes I share my morning routine and tips with that. I am constantly figuring out and thinking, what can I do and share this that's going on in my life right now in a way that's going to help inspire and build more trust. I often like to do videos when I'm walking to the gym. I'm outside, I'm doing stuff, and I can also multitask. And yesterday I talked a little bit about a Facebook post that I did that was about a rant and went in deeper. So also sharing things that are going on different social platforms. But if you're just at the beginning and just building your audience, again, focus really on one platform. If Instagram is your jam, then definitely be focusing on stories and be focused on posting daily, at least once a day, on your Instagram channel. So hopefully that helps, Nicole, with some tips for using Instagram stories. And also remember, you can tag the location for your Instagram story, and that's going to also show up in that location area. So for example, if I was using a story and then you click the little square at the top after you've created your story, and then you click on location, then you can select the location. So you could select, for me, I'd select San Diego, right? So now I get a notification that when people are viewing just the general social media location through like the Explore tab, they can actually see my stuff now. And if you have the fear of stalkers, which Nicole says, I am afraid of stalkers, that can happen. I love the band and block button, and sometimes you're going to have weird people, and you just want to be careful as well. So I'm not always sharing my exact location of where I'm at in San Diego. I'm very clear with that. I'm also not sharing any like personal property things. Like you do want to be careful and be mindful of that. But I also just don't let that in my space of that even being a situation. And because of that, I don't welcome that into like my vibration and into my vortex of even that thought of that happening. So you want to be careful of like not manifesting that by even like constantly saying, I'm safe and I'm surrounded by friends and trusted people on social media. And I really have never in my, 8 years now of being online, have had any issues with that. And I think it's from the place of where I come from. And also being mindful that I'm not sharing everything that I do and where I'm at 24/7. There's some people that do that, and I think that's a little crazy. But some of them have, lifestyle, personal bloggers and things like that. So being really mindful of that. So great question. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you so much for joining me. If you got a lot of value out of this, please share with your friends. And also, I want you to comment below what your biggest takeaway from this. Was this helpful? Anything you want me to continue to dive deeper on, because I can continue to do this as I'm filling my bucket full of topics for future Dish with Devani episodes. And don't forget, I'm going to drop the link for the Build Your Audience Challenge. Sending you so much love. Talk to you soon. Have an amazing night.